Gotta go. Girl talk.
Boom! Hard in.
Hard in.
Hard in. Welcome to Gotham City tonight. I'm Ryan Dole, and I'm here with Mr. Alex Brewer. Alex, how are you?
Welcome everyone. I'm doing great, Ryan. How you doing? How you feeling? I am doing great. Ryan and I are both kind of fried, kind of tired. Bear with us tonight, folks.
But it'll be fine.
Yeah,
we're all fine here. We're all fine. It's all good. Yeah. No, dude. We've both been so busy. We're a bit disconnected from the news a little bit, but there was a couple things that happened. I think it already was happening last week, but we got more info on it, so we can talk about it this week, which is the purchasing of Diamond distributors, Diamond Select, and all of that, and some big. Not really Todd McFarlane news, but Todd McFarlane news adjacent, I guess.
Yeah.
Which I think is actually kind of fun, kind of cool, kind of good
for
Canada.
Yeah, it's like a chain of DC relevance in there somewhere,
or even just comic book relevance. I mean,
yeah,
it's all there. But hang on, we'll get into that quickly. Let's say a quick hello to the chat, and then we're going to talk about a little thing that happened on the weekend. Not just May the 4th, which was very awesome.
Yes.
But, we got other stuff. Say hello, what do you do? To Video Power Gaming. Dorlaxian is here. Stanley Eberhard. Mr. Johnny Cock is here as well. Well, spoilers. Jesus. Andrew's Katie's Toys is here. Matt Bush, my greatest contributor of all time. Thank you so much for being here. Mr. Tony Johnson, Jack Knight 73, the Deadheads, Flash 739. Whew. Okay. Chris Bobinski, Detroit Dave, Make Mine Marvel Legends, Chad Stewart, Deep Space Niner, Mr. Michael T. Did I say? You know what? That's how. Stephen Lawrence is here as well. Skylar Davis, Tony Johnson, Luis Ballesteros, and Hola desde Mexico. This couple of weeks I've been happy with my Mega Man MDLX, Venom S, Spider-Man 2, and Black Series General Skywalker.
Oh, cool. Yeah, the Mega Man. That's the Mega Man model kit for. Yeah, that looks awesome.
Yeah, it does look. I saw photos. Agreed. It looks awesome. Toy Collector Magazine, Blake, happy that you're here. Shondo Gecko, Mr. Benjamin Rue is here. Fapped out, dude. Story of my life. Dude, we got some pickups.
Yeah, well, it was a free comic book day Saturday. I did not. I shouldn't even admit this. I didn't get out to get anything, but Ryan, you did. I've heard tell.
Yes, but even before we'll get into those. But I got like a couple other pickups that are Gotham City Tonight adjacent.
Oh,
but here, let's go through it. So, of course, if you go to the comic book shop, I try not to leave empty-handed with just like, I just want to go in and grab free comics and leave. That's rude. Nobody wants to do that.
Mine.
Yeah, but no, can't do that. But these came out while I was in Japan, so I knew I had to pick them up, and I'm glad I got a copy of these trades. Pardon me. Because they were the last ones on the shelf, but I managed to get X-Men.
Oh, sick.
The first trade of this, of the Krakoa, like post
Krakowian.
Guys, we are cooked. But yeah, so I'm super excited that I got X-Men, and I can't, because I got the first issue, and I was like, well, now I'll just wait for the trade. And same with this one.
That's one where their headquarters are in a defunct Sentinel factory, right?
Correct.
Kind of fun.
Yeah, but they put it in Alaska. But again, Alaska makes sense to put it there.
It's where Cyclops' grandparents had their shipping business.
Right. So it all kind of like, I was like, Alaska? Like, they couldn't just like, to me, it always feels like an American trope thing. It's like, Well, we want North, but not Canada, right? So let's just
Starry Wolverine
so
and
we'll
North Star.
yeah, I'll just put it in Alaska. Though I thought if they were going to like Alaska makes sense because it's like super hyper conservative up there. So it would make sense for them to have a Sentinel base,
Yeah, Sentinel
right?
Factory.
Sentinel Factory. But I thought if they were going to do it anywhere else, they should have done it in Alberta. Because I could also see that being like, you know,
do you think? Do you, as a Canadian, can you verify if Wolverine's clone Albert, the like robotic Wolverine, is that named for Alberta? Do you think?
I'm gonna say yes.
All right, cool.
I'm gonna say yes. I also grabbed Gail Simone's run on the Uncanny X-Men as well, which I'm also very excited to get into.
I like the graphic design on these trades. Like, it's a kind of like a new presentation for Marvel books.
Yeah, I like it. And it helps. I think they should do this whenever they do a new run on something when it starts at number 1. So that way, when you look for, like, I don't know about you, Alex, when I go to the comic shop now, it can get very, very frustrating because it's like, well, I picked up Captain America Volume 1. I'm going to go grab Volume 2. But then you look on the shelf, there's no Volume 1s left, but there's 5 different Volume 2s of Captain America. So now you're like, well, which one do I need? So then you're trying to Google it, trying to Google and figure out the reading order of Marvel trades is so hard to do.
Yeah.
Like, even when it got to like the X-Men Krakoa era, I wanted to read X-Men, where they lived in that really cool treehouse in Central Park.
Right.
And then all of a sudden it was like, they started off at number 1 again after the Hellfire Gala. And then all of a sudden it was like, which one do I, where am I going now?
It's hard to do even if you're reading the issues coming out. Like, it's all, you know, they want you to buy like 100 different books basically to get the like full story. And I think it's just like, it's the storylines. It's just this exquisite corpse of random arcs and subplots, and it is very hard to find your way in nowadays.
Yeah. So it's been easy getting Wolverine trades because they didn't start off as number 1. They just kept going. So like that didn't restart. Excalibur, X Factor, all those like side titles never restarted. But all the X-Men ones, it's like, it's one of the big reasons I don't read Spider-Man anymore. I don't know which way is up or down.
Yeah.
You know,
yeah.
When I'm trying to like,
well, when you're dealing with Spider-Man, you know, he could be upside down. He could be
anywhere. That's true. Fair enough.
The thing, can you hold up that trade with the X-Men trade? One more like, I feel like it becomes harder and harder to come up with cover ideas in this day and age of comics, and so we are at the point where there's like, it's just their hands
and a tail.
But a tail, which, if you think about, like, Nightcrawler's hands would have been the most distinct. They should have put his hand on there.
I mean, outside of Wolverine's claws, you're right.
I will say this proves like how good the X-Men character designs are, because you can just look at their hands and you know who's who. You can probably look at their shoes and you know who's who. Like, that's good character design.
That's true. You probably could. I think there's some, again, and the artwork for these is amazing. Who is the artist on these? We've got cover art. This is David Marquez and Xavier Guerin. They are the artists on this. Great stuff. No, this is great. Great. I can't wait. Work's been killing me, so I don't have time. I'll show you. Our comic shop as well also did this thing where, like, I don't know about your comic shop or anyone in the chat. Let me know what your comic shop did for Free Comic Book Day. Ours only did, like, you can only take 4 different titles, but they have like 15 to choose from, but you can only choose 4. So it's like, it made things tough. So I passed on the DC one because it was just a absolute taster book where it was like, here's a few pages of Batman,
Yeah.
here's a few pages of Wonder Woman, right? That
The
kind of thing.
absolute sampler.
Yeah, that's what it was. But I did grab the Ultimate Spider-Man.
Right. Versus
So I was like, well,
RoboCop.
I hope that's RoboCop. I don't know who that is. This is well, I haven't read it yet. This one is one of the ones it sits by my work desk and hoping that I get like 50, I just give me 10 minutes for a break, and work is not giving me that at all. I also picked up this one, Mark Spears Monsters.
Oh, that's cool. Wow, look at that cover. That's
This is
that's
a
not like
free cover. Yeah.
That's awesome.
So I picked this one up, and even the artwork inside is very, very, very beautiful. Very, very dark, very creepy.
And scary.
Very scary. So I picked it up. I read this one. This one was a very quick read, but it was great. I already read this one. This is the first one I read. I was like, give me this.
I know.
So I really
look at that Gill Man. You gotta get it.
Gotta get it. Every free comic book day, I will always pick up this title. I always find the comics to be a little hard to find, and same with the art books as well. So anytime I get a chance to get any sort of of these comics, because usually they'll have like other art in the back as well. I picked up the Street Fighter free comic book day, right? Ryu versus Chun-Li. Can't beat this stuff, man. It's so good. It's so good. Everything is so colored beautifully, and it's dynamic.
Yeah. It's cool.
It is great stuff. So I picked that one up, and again too, they got like all the nice little like shout outs and pinups and stuff in the back.
Yeah, those are
great stuff. I picked up this one, and then last but not least, I picked up Power Rangers Prime with Dan Mora art.
Yeah.
And on the flip side,
oh yeah,
we got
this sexy VR trooper image,
right? Like Thirst Trap Troopers. Is that what this is? Is the VR for Vava Voom? Again, like the art's amazing. Like, I know nothing about VR Troopers other than I know that VR Troopers existed on TV at some point. We also get some.
Oh, those are some cool design. Those are Dan Mora.
Yep.
Nice.
So not only do we get like Dan Mora designs on the VR Troopers, we also got some original Power Ranger designs from Dan Mora as well. In the back.
Ooh, look at that little T-Rex Dinozord.
Very Digimon.
So yeah, he looks like Agumon.
Right? But it's a dog. Spoiler alert.
What?
It's a dog that gets
morphed? He's morphed like in armor, or
I guess so. I always kind of thought maybe it was a baby Zord.
Are the Zords
have to grow up?
Are the Zords alive in there? Like, is it like an Evangelion thing where it's like Zords are like actually they're not robots or anything? They're like living organisms with metal parts. Like,
you know what?
That's kind of creepy.
Think about the Zords and how they worked, because you would call them, and they come to you like a pet.
Yeah.
And sometimes, like in the case of in like the Green Ranger, he'd be off to the side playing his flute, and like, is he controlling it? I guess we're all assuming he's controlling it via the flute.
Yeah.
Right. But it's like, sometimes these things are just fighting on their own.
I think in like Kyoru Sentai Zyuranger, which is, the original Japanese show, they're like gods. They're like ancient gods from because like it's like a completely different storyline where it's like the Power Rangers are like descendants of these like ancient like dinosaur tribes. So it's like, and I don't know if like the people are supposed to be like evolved from those dinosaurs in some weird way, but like the Zords are like these like god spirits that like represent each tribe of dinosaur. And yeah.
Yeah, right. Chad Stewart, right? 5 free comics here. Shondo Gecko 3.
Oh.
Oof. Man, it was hard choosing 4 because it was
Going
just
to
like
Scrooge's comic den.
right. Yeah, no kidding. One piece of coal for you, right? Right. I think it's about VR Troopers here, Detroit Dave. Short run, but in 2 years, it did get up to 92 episodes.
I'm surprised they're bringing back VR Troopers. We got it.
Well, I mean, they look cool.
They look cool. They had a cool look. I've heard that the chat. If you know, we need to get Dan Larson on this, but I think VR Troopers is based on like a much cooler Japanese show, or like a more popular. I don't know, like a Kamen Rider kind of spin-off thing.
Well, I think
I'm out of my depth here.
I think what was it? In the early mid 2000s. Maybe I'm wrong. This could be later. No, yeah, maybe. Anyways, I'm gonna stop arguing with myself in my head and just say it. I think they tried to bring Kamen Rider to the States, like a dubbed version of it, at some point. Because I kind of remember
during like, because he was like Masked Rider is what they called him, and it was like during the Power Rangers era, and he had Furbus, that like weird little duck thing.
Yeah. Which is crazy because, like I said, I went to Japan and I got, because it's funny when I go to Japan, I come back and I'm like, oh man, Sentais are the coolest. I know nothing about them, but I just love looking at them. And because now there's like such cool Kamen Rider figures, I know nothing about them. I don't know how they work. I don't know if they transform via their belt buckle or their wristwatch or both. But man, they always look so cool. But I know nothing about them. That's just
got a motorcycle, and it's the I watched the Japanese show that like that Masked Rider when they brought Kamen Rider over here in the 90s, like what they based that off of. The guy, the like main character who the Kamen Rider had such a cool jacket. That's all I remember from it, but like his jacket
and the
was
scarf,
very cool. I think so. I can't remember. But yeah,
I just like how they all look like bugs. I like how they look like bugs.
Like a grasshopper.
Yeah, dude. They're so like again, I think Zentai just look so cool. And I think like hang on, someone's brought up Beetleborg somewhere.
Oh, speaking of bugs, right?
Right? That was oh my god, I already lost it.
The Beetleborg show. Yeah. They're like it was all like, bargain bin Power Ranger stuff, just like how can we fool kids into thinking they're buying more Power Rangers stuff. But yeah, Beetleborgs, I just remember how appealing like they made the comic books look on that show. It was like, it's like, like pizza always looks better on TV, like these comic books, they were like, man, that's like a substantial comic that they're just waving around. It looks like I want to read that comic.
Yeah. Actually, it always kind of surprised me that Power Rangers never got a proper comic sooner, just because, again, you can do so much more with the comics. The same way they did with Ninja Turtles and Donald Duck, of all people, like where they're able to like take
Carl
these characters and flesh them out and make them something like really truly deep and special. And I feel like they were doing that with the Power Rangers comics, where it was like, they really kind of like did a heavy focus on Kimberly, the Pink Ranger, and made her something like, just even because it wasn't necessarily like, it's still for kids, but because they're able to go a little darker with the comics, they didn't go too dark, but except unless you're thinking about like the evil Green Ranger again, like Dracon, I think he was called. But I mean,
these are like the fairly recent comics. These are the Dan Mora comics.
The Dan Mora comics. Yeah. And so it's kind of, so I always kind of feel like they're able to like just give the characters more depth. And I think Power Rangers is great for that. I still want to do my dream project. Hopefully I can do it for Sony one day. I do want to do a Sentai movie, whether it's live action or animated, and I want it to be a coming of age movie.
Yeah, why not?
Much like American Pie or Superbad or like I want it to be like they're trying to get laid before prom, but they also have to like stop a giant monster. Like,
I mean, it's an age where your body's going through changes. Imagine morphing on top of all that. Like,
right? I still feel like I'm like I have talked about this on the early days of Toy Anxiety before, where I'm like, this is what I want to do. And I have talked about it at Sony, like where I've just been like, this is what I want. This is my dream project. Like, I want to make a horny Power Rangers show for teenagers, or a movie for teenagers. And no, I don't want to make live action hentai. No. I don't want to do that. I want to make Sentai live action, like just some more.
I said Sentai.
I get it. You're just hearing what you want to hear, Topher Khan. All right. Gonna call you out. And yeah, Chad Stewart is talking about Dracon. Right? I hope I'm pronouncing that right.
Dracon. I don't
Dracon.
know.
Yeah.
He had the
Either
cool
way, it looked cool. Yeah, it looked super cool. I always kind of felt like evolving the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, and then just like every other version of Power Rangers that they keep like recruiting. Like, I always like the idea. Like, I think they've done many Power Ranger episodes like this, where all the Red Rangers get together and beat the shit out of somebody, or like all the Power Rangers that's ever been, they're all in there like an army. And I'm always like, that's cool, because everyone's colorful and stuff like that. I don't know. I always felt like, there's so much there they can do. We've completely taken over Sentai talk. Okay, I got 2 more pickups. These ones are pretty cool. This one I got from Jason Grahowski. I brought this. I said, I'm not showing this off on Toy Anxiety. This pickup, it goes on here. I got the DVD for the Hulk versus Wolverine.
That's fun, man. That's cool.
It is super cool. If anyone has never seen this is great. And if you ever want to see, like, I remember when Deadpool was coming out, people kept saying, Deadpool has to be rated R. It must be. If it's not rated R, it's not Deadpool. all this stuff. And I was like, well, don't worry if it's going to be rated R or not. It is rated R already, so don't fret. However, this Wolverine or Hulk versus Wolverine movie, it has proved to me that you can do a PG Deadpool and do it well. So whenever people say like it has to be, I'm like, no, it doesn't. It doesn't have to be shit. Shut up.
Yeah.
And on top of that, he did a PG cut for Deadpool 2. And it was great.
It's true. With Fred Savage.
Right? And it's so good. So
my favorite Deadpool is the X-Force, the like Rick Remender, the way he like wrote him, where he was just kind of like, he was almost like the innocent of the team. Oh,
right. I bumped something. Yeah.
Power outage.
No, it's the maybe. Hang on. Let's see if I can get this fixed. You talk to people.
All right. So technical difficulties. Did anyone else get anything cool on Free Comic Book Day? Drop it in the chat there. Yeah, I know. Remender, X-Force, Jerome Opeña on art.
There we go. Sorry about that. Sometimes you bump one thing here, and also it's just like, phew. Though I did find out that it was like hot. I might be dealing with a fire. No, I'm not going to be dealing with a fire. But just, yeah. Oh my god, this place would go up in 2 seconds. There's so much cardboard, just, like toys and comics and stuff. It'd be done.
My free comics.
Yeah, it's done. It would be done. One more pickup. This one I got from Mr. Trevor Zammit. from NECA fame. He sent me this custom Superpowers Batman. You probably think it doesn't look like
You
a
saw it here.
custom.
You saw it here first, folks. NECA's making superpowers.
NECA's making Superpowers, but he put the Zellers sticker on
Love
this
it.
Batman and
So
a
good.
Zellers price tag.
Now, how did he get that? Or did
How-
he
I don't know what he did to get this, but whatever the case, the fact he did this Batman and then made it the Zellers Batman, just said throwing a couple stickers on it for fun, and it's now the Zellers Batman. I love it.
That's amazing.
I am hanging this up. I love it so much. Because again, didn't show that off on Toy Anxiety because it's like I could have showed that off on Toy Anxiety, and the three of them would have been like, "I don't get it." That's like you don't watch Gotham City Tonight. You have no idea what we're talking about.
That's the one version of Batman everyone can love.
Exactly.
That crazy Zellers commercial Batman.
Yeah, like what is this? Why Zellers? This is your first time here, Stanley? Why Zellers? Come on. You know this. Just type in Zellers Batman. Just actually stop watching this. Stop. Stanley, turn us off. Type in Zellers Batman, then come back.
Well, he probably turned us off and didn't get the next instruction.
Oh no.
Actually, stop watching us, watch Zellers Batman, and then watch us talk about Zellers Batman from like 3 episodes ago.
It's not too far from there, right? Go do that. It'll be good.
I saw in a work meeting one of my coworkers, Aaron, shared a Hulk honeycomb cereal commercial from like the late 70s or early. It is like
nice.
It's so weird because like that one definitely, like, after this stream, search for the Hulk honeycomb commercial, because it's like this like gang of kids. They're like all right, Hulk, like you gotta try out honeycomb to join our gang, and Hulk has like a Jack Kirby style like New York accent. Like he's like, all right, kids, let me have some of that honeycomb. It's like he like sounds like the Thing. Like it's great.
I think he's supposed to, isn't it?
It's the best version of the Hulk I've ever seen in media.
Okay, we're gonna check. Also, and then while you're there too, look up the Avengers Got Milk commercial from the 90s. Amazing.
Yeah,
it's a freaking classic.
Yeah.
Okay, speaking of the 90s, early 2000s, all that.
Yeah.
Canada had a video game store, and it was called Electronics Boutique.
Mm-hmm.
Electronics Boutique eventually got bought by GameStop. It became GameStop Canada, because of course you can't just, they have to change it to make it theirs. Leave things as they were.
And wasn't it EB Games at some point in between? They shortened the Electronics Boutique.
The name. Yeah, but we still, like, I think I don't think it really bothered us so much because we were already calling it EB Games before it was officially on the sign as EB Games, right?
Yeah.
A lot of us were already like, oh, I'm going to go to EB Games. Right? I got to go get No Mercy for my N64. Very important. It's one of the most important games ever made. I don't know if you knew that.
No, I've never heard it before.
What?
No Mercy for the N64?
Yeah, WWF.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
No?
Wrestling just like was not on my radar as a kid.
Wow. Okay. That's fine. Well, GameStop, like most stores and most things that we love, are taking a big, giant, massive dump. Everything sucks. And, well, it got saved. Like, in a sense, it got saved. GameStop Canada
has Canadian came in.
A Canadian
and took what was rightfully theirs
and said, "We're taking it back. We're not going to be the 51st GameStop. We're not going to do it. Not anymore." GameStop Canada has been acquired by McFarlane Toys co-owner Stephen. How do you even pronounce his last name? Terrell? Is that T silent? Right? Terrell. And yeah, will relaunch as EB Games Canada.
It's back. They're back.
So it's back. You were saying this Mr. Steven, sir, He is the guy that runs the shop over at McFarlane Toys.
Yeah, he's a big deal co-owner of McFarlane Toys, and yeah, so it's interesting that he is now acquired this like brick and mortar option for geeky merchandise. That's fun.
Yeah. Do you think they'll sell any merchandise for women or of women?
Remains to be seen.
Yeah. Guess what? You're getting Mario toys, but no Princess Peach. Off the shelf. No more.
I'm pretty sure that there was an electronics boutique at my local mall in the 90s. There was one store called Babbage's here, in one store, and then electronics boutique. It's like I definitely was aware of electronics boutique. I definitely went to it. I remember like being blown away by like, Crash Bandicoot figures and
Nice.
like the concept of like video game figure, like Resident Evil figures, like the like Resource stuff. Like you would only see it there at like these video game stores at the mall. And I believe I still so this is one of the pickups I got back in the day at Electronics Boutique. They actually had import Final Fantasy figures and like other Japanese figures, and I've held on to this Sephiroth this whole time. And yeah, there were versions that you could get at Toys R Us where like the plastic was like a little like waxier, but this was like the box had like the Japanese like writing on it, so I assume it was an import. And it's like feels really well made, and yeah, and his head comes off, like like Sephiroth's head's always like falling off, and in the game. Arms come off, but yeah. So anyway, that's my electronics boutique memory.
Yeah, that's See, I think mine is like getting wrestling games. I don't remember buying too many toys from Electronics Boutique at that time. Like, because I felt like it was mostly video games and like video game magazines.
For sure. Yeah, it would have been primarily video games, but there would be like a section of video game related like toys and that kind of thing. And I remember desperately trying to get like Parasite Eve back then.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
That was like the first, like my parents were like, oh, I don't know, it's like a mature rated game, and I was like,
Mom,
please.
Coolest.
Yeah.
Gavin Long, here in Australia, our EB Games was largely leaned into its sister company Zing, which is a collectible store. Lots more profit to be made in merch than games. I don't know if that's necessarily true out here. Maybe it is. I mean, it makes sense seeing as GameStop really leaned into the collectibles.
Well, because in the age of like digital downloads, like I feel like the new consoles like don't even have like disk drives anymore.
That's a fair point. So you're pretty much going there to get your consoles.
Yeah.
Right. And any sort of physical media that maybe people want. Used games, but I guess
like used well, maybe used consoles and used games. I mean, that's like honestly, like that's kind of become a new trend, is like buying old old PlayStation and playing. I mean, there's games like Xenogears that like have never been re-released, that like you still have to like track down an old PlayStation and a copy of the game, which a lot of those games are like rare and expensive nowadays. So
yeah, well, there's one old game that's not rare or expensive, but it's great, and I would love an HD version of it, and that was the Wolverine Origins for Xbox.
Oh yeah,
right, like Xbox 360 and PS2.
Is that the one where like Mark Hamill does the voice of Wolverine?
Yeah, I think that's the one.
X-Men attire.
Yeah, and it's supposed to be. It's a game based off the movie that's better than the movie. Usually it's the other way around. Right? Usually games based off movies are terrible. Yeah. But this is like amazing. And where is Insomniac with that game? They announced it like 10 years ago. We haven't seen anything since.
Yeah, I know.
I guess that hack really effed them up, but man, what a bummer. In other other crazy Canadian news. You're gonna have to, Alex, if there's any American news, let me know. But this was brought up last. Pass, yeah. If anyone was watching last week, if anyone caught the replay or anything like that, we talked about someone in the chat brought up about Universal buying, not Universal Studios, but a company called Universal up here in Canada buying Diamond Distributors, Diamond Select. Got a little more info on that. Cost them $50 million. That's
not. That's a little more than walking around money. That's nothing to sneeze at.
No, you would have to declare that if you were traveling. If you had that kind of money on you, it'd be like, do you have more than $15,000 on you? Like, actually, I have 50 million on me. I'm gonna go buy some comic books.
Like, I am here to purchase a distribution company, my good man.
Yes. I'm bringing jobs back to Canada. So yeah, it's going to be crazy because so all of that is happening. I didn't get to fully read it. I don't know if you had a chance to like fully read about it.
I don't quite. Yeah, it's like I don't quite understand it because it's like
same here.
There's two companies involved because then also the NECA's parent company. I can never remember it's like AP or something. Like I can never remember the actual name, but I just remember it as NECA's parent company. They have also acquired like Diamond Comics, Diamond Select. So I don't know if it's like if the distribution is like a separate thing and that's what Universal has acquired, or what. I don't know what the
and does any of this include Gentle Giant? Because I think that's owned by Diamond.
Well, Gentle Giant like split, and like the half of Gentle Giant that does like scanning for movies and stuff and props and costumes, like that's one thing, and then the other half became Diamond Select.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
So like the busts and all that stuff.
Yeah. And so that's what has been that's what's part of this whole deal.
Okay. Well, that's good news for people at Gentle Giant.
Yeah. Right? Well, and certainly like, I mean, like, Diamond Select has been continuing to like put up pre-orders and show off the product that they had in the pipeline before this happened. So like people who are, Diamond Select collectors and have been looking forward to those, that product, like hopefully this means that will assure that that will get into people's hands,
Yeah, I wonder if they're going to work towards repairing the relationships with Marvel and DC.
What do you mean, and what do you mean?
Well, because I think Marvel no longer goes through Diamond.
Right.
Because they think they go through their own publisher, which they might just stick with because it's Disney and they're just like, we own this one, it's easier. DC maybe.
Ad Populum is the
Ad Populum. That's it. Company. That's what I read too. And I'm also kind of curious, like, are they, because comics are printed up here in Canada? I don't think people necessarily knew that. So now if they even get distributed through Canada, that's good news for me. Because there won't be the 25% tariffs, right? Like that's what Flash 739 is like. What are the tariffs on that? Right. But maybe this is what I'm hoping. In a perfect solution to all of this for comics and comic book printing, maybe Americans should print their own damn comics for what they need and for what's ordered. Because that's what the orders are for. When you order 3 months ahead of time, that lets the companies know how much they need to make overall. Yeah. So if they go, American comic book shops need this much, Canadian shops need this much, would it also be great if they started getting back into newsstand editions?
Oh yeah. Well, do you mean like add actual news? Do you guys still have newsstands up there?
Well, I mean, like we still have Shoppers Drug Mart. We have, that's one of our keystone stores up here.
It sounds made up.
Well, it's real. Well, you gotta remember, here drugs are free, but a Shoppers Drug Mart.
Oh, I thought you
where
said Shoppers Jug Mart.
No, it's Drug Mart. So it's like,
Okay.
so they have like,
I'm just
it's like a
picturing like
drugstore.
I'm just picturing like, you know, containers full of pills, and you just take one of those like scoops and you just like
Yeah, so it's
fill your
like they've got
prescription.
the Shoppers Drug Mart will have a pharmacy in there, right? And then it will have like, yeah, usually Canada Post will also be in a Shoppers Drug Mart. And then you've got like just a, it's not like a grocery store, but you can get some groceries there as well. It's like, it is like a, it is like a chain of corner drugstores. That's the best way to. So if you need your hair products, if you need toiletries, you need like small bits of groceries. Again, you've got your mail there, you've got your pharmacy, all of that. That's a Shoppers Drug Mart. But they also have they have the big giant magazine stand area, right?
Nice.
Uh by the counters, by the tills and stuff, right? The checkout counters. So I'm like, you know, maybe bring it back there. Maybe bring back the spinner racks.
Yeah.
Right? Like it's just like,
I think,
you know.
yeah. I mean, it's kind of nice to see that, you know, this and the EB Games story, like that,
Yeah.
that some of this physical media stuff and certainly comic book distribution, that it is still viable. Like it is, these are valuable, desirable business prospects for these companies that are paying a lot of money to acquire comic book distribution channels and video game brick and mortar retail stores. Like, you know, it's good to see that like there are plans in place to
Right.
make a go of that sort of thing.
Another thing that I wish, because we just had Free Comic Book Day, and we're talking about newsstand editions for comics. So usually when you think about newsstand editions for comics, these are the ones that would be slightly a little cheaper, maybe made a little cheaper, wouldn't have the fancy paper, right? And I think another great place that I always felt like they should be selling comics, even though everyone's got greasy, dirty, buttery hands, is the movie theater. For 15 years, there's been nothing, like a whole slew of comic book movies. And
Brian,
yet they
that's
don't do
like,
anything
this is
with,
like a good idea. Like you're saying a good idea right now, and I don't know.
Right? Like, so to me, I always felt like maybe not that I want the theaters competing with the comic book shops, but like, how many people go, like, how good of a day would it be to take your family to the theater on Free Comic Book Day? And if your theater is not near a comic book shop, they have free comics at the theater, right?
You are
On Free Comic Book Day.
you are 1000% right. Like this, like because God forbid you take your kids to see the Thunderbolts, they love it. You're coming out of the movie, and there's at least a spinner rack or like a newsstand full of comics, where he's like, oh, here are the Thunderbolts comics. Like, yeah,
Right?
I
Or
mean,
just
I
not even,
absolutely.
yes. So it's not even just like, I wouldn't even just have, I would have comics there based on the movies that just came out. So obviously Captain America, Hulk, right? But already I would have in there Superman, Fantastic Four, Spider-Man. Always have Spider-Man and Batman on the news rack.
The big
Always,
guns. Yeah,
right?
yeah, absolutely.
Those two are the big ones, right? Always have them on there. Wolverine Deadpool came out. People are still talking about it. Put a couple X-Men comics on there. Make a Deadpool comic specifically made for theater chains, you know, like it's.
I mean, they've got bars in most movie theaters. Like you can throw a comic book store in there. Like, you know, give people,
Right.
they can come and they can read the comic while they're waiting for the movie. You know, read it while you're watching 40 minutes of ads. Like, God forbid. Yeah.
God forbid. I don't know, man. That was my first thought. It's always been my thought. I remember when Captain America, the first Avenger, came out. And this is at the time where people like going to midnight screenings. People are dressing up to go to these, like they're dressing up in costume to go see these movies. And I was like, that was at the point where I was like, there's all these people waiting. They already have their assigned seat. No one's in a rush. But they're all here. They're all hanging out. They're all talking and stuff. They should have comics in their hands.
Yeah,
Why is
absolutely.
there no right? And plus, it
I
could
mean,
be
you
a
could.
great gateway drug for people to go to the comic shop.
That's the main thing, right? It's like you get people who are there interested to see a comic book movie. Like, yeah, maybe like put the thing in their hand, and that will start a fandom. And you know, you can make a day out of it. It's like, oh yeah, we'll go like to the comic book store section, and then we'll go to the movie. Like, yeah, that's a great
That's
idea.
it.
But it's been like decades of comic book movies being the most successful blockbusters, and it has the moment
Enough.
passed as the window closed for
I
comic book
feel like it.
shops in
I
movie theaters, both of
I
which
feel
seem
like
to
it
be
might
kind of
have.
struggling, you know.
Right, but I feel like they should have, and I feel like they should have done it right when Phase 1 was really ramping up, and even
Yeah,
when the Snyderverse was ramping up. Like they should have had comics at the theater ready to rock and roll. So even if you
yeah.
weren't buying them before you went into the theater, you see them when you walk out of the theater.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Right? Like
Um,
bang, you just move the rack right there at the door and you're just like, "Oh my god." It's like if I was a kid and saw that, I'd be all
yeah.
over it.
And maybe
All over it.
include some action figures and merchandise while you're at it. Like
Well, Batman 89 did that. Oh, see, 5739 just said it, just as I was saying it. I remember going to a comic shop right after Batman 89. I was 9. I felt really overwhelmed. It's a great feeling to be overwhelmed at a comic shop.
yeah,
But
I
they used to
mean,
have like merch stands. Like I don't know if this was all over the United States. Definitely was in LA, but everything happens in Los Angeles. So I don't know if that counts. But you would go, people would leave the like they would have merch booths already set up for Batman 89 where they were selling shirts, posters, prints,
it's
all that,
smart.
like the soundtrack, they'd have all of that there at the theater. There'd be someone just at like a fold up table with a tablecloth on it,
The
right? And
merch
just be
booth,
like
like a concert.
the
It's like,
merch, like a merch booth at like an indie rock show, right?
yeah.
That's what it looked like. And all of a sudden people would just be like, they'd get out of the theater and they would just be raiding the booth.
Well,
Like, need the shirt, need the poster.
Was it your episode of the Toy Geeks talking about the Power of the Force Kenner figures? Which, by the way, folks, if you haven't been listening, definitely check those videos out. Toy Geeks, Jay Glatfelter and Dan Larson, and on one of the episodes, Ryan Dole talking about the Kenner Star Wars, Power of the Force line. Dan Larson was talking about they would give out free Luke Skywalker figures at people going to see the special editions.
That was for Return of the Jedi.
Amazing.
I still have mine, and it's still on the card. And it's called the theater edition.
Lucas was smart. Lucas got it. You start a collector that way because you're like, some percentage.
Well, I was already collecting, but it was
true. But for those who aren't, like, oh, this is cool. Well, I got one. May as well get two. May as well get three.
Yeah.
And that's how it starts.
Dude, I remember that, and I remember not knowing that we were getting that. And because my friend, so here's a little. We're going off the rails a little bit, but when the Star Wars special editions came out, I was in grade 12, and my friends and our parents let us skip school on the opening day to go line up for all 3 of those movies. So by the time Return of the Jedi came out, it became like a thing where it was like there was 4 of us for A New Hope, and then there was like 6 of us for Empire Strikes Back. And then when everyone realized where we were going and what we were doing, it all of a sudden became like a dozen of us skipping school to go see Return of the Jedi and lining up. So needless to say, we had no idea. There was no listing saying, "Oh, come to opening night of Return of the Jedi and get a free figure." We didn't know.
Yeah. No, it's
none
nice
of us
to
knew.
be surprised.
And all of a sudden we get to the thing, and all of a sudden Harry is handing out these Luke Skywalkers, and I was, "Ooh, this is the best day." I skipped school. I'm watching Return of the Jedi in the theater with all this new shit in it, and I get a new toy. God damn.
Dude, that does sound like the best day ever.
It was I remember it very, very clearly. and it was a lot of fun. And a lot of us all went back a couple years later, and a couple years later, and we all watched Phantom Menace together. Right, same group. We were all graduated by then, but we all went.
Again, George Lucas knew what he was doing. He knew how to generate some interest.
Right.
Real quick, Ryan, we got I'll answer 3 random tough questions. It's addressed to me, but we can both answer. Number 1, more Marvel or DC fella? I gotta go with Marvel, even though the show is Gotham City tonight, but I love Batman. Like, so I don't know, both. Ryan, are you?
I know it's such a lame answer. It's such
are you gonna draw a line
answer.
in the sand?
I can't, like, to me, they're both comics. And I know, like,
yeah,
when Jeff Goldblum first said that, because someone asked him this at an interview too, and he's like, this was for Ragnarok. And someone goes, do you like Marvel or DC more? He's like, who cares? They're both comics. And I was like, that's it. That's been me. That's been me all my life. I've never had that, like, I like one more than the other, because I'm always reading one, or like I'm reading both at the same time. Sometimes you end up reading more of one than the other, because sometimes Wonder Woman is amazing. So you're really kind of focused on that. And then, new writer team comes on, you're kind of like, that doesn't give you the same feels. Then you end up jumping on to like X-Men, and you're just like, everything X-Men's amazing. And then you're just like, that goes down, and you're like, oh man, Tom King's doing Batman. This is the best.
It's like, do you like cookies or ice cream better? Yeah, but they are, I think, because they're different vibes. Marvel is more of the relatable, everyman, interconnected community of superheroes, and DC is more of the godly pantheon of mythic archetypes. I know that's a generalization, and both have their own versions of both, but I feel like if you were going to like characterize them into stereotypes, that's what it would be. All right, favorite Motu bad guy faction.
Faction?
Faction, yeah.
Okay, Snake Men, Horde, or Skeletor? Yeah. You go first. I know my answer. My answer is clear as day.
I mean, I love Evil Lyn, so I gotta go with Skeletor's crew, but Horde is cool because Horde is all kind of based off of like universal monster archetypes. You've got like vampires and werewolves and creatures from the Black Lagoon. Like, that's cool. I like that concept.
Yeah, I'm a Horde guy through and through. As much as I love
You're a hoarder?
Skeletor. I guess, yeah. Well, look behind me. I love Skeletor so much. I think his look, design, color, right? The purples and blues with the yellow face. I think he's perfect. He is the perfect design.
Yes.
I can't think of another villain that's as perfect.
He's like a primordial. You just instinctually like that design.
Evil, yeah. Like, just as a little boy, you're just like, that is the coolest thing you've ever seen, and that will always stick with me. But like, I think through and through, when it came to like if we're talking about like a faction altogether, not just a singular character, Horde, and again, this goes with nostalgia, because I had probably more Horde than I had more of Skeletor's crew, right? So I had like Fright Zone, right? Because I'm going to brag again, I had Eternia as a kid.
For those who don't know.
Because guess what? I had cool parents. and oh, hang on, I lost the question. I am so sorry.
I think yeah.
And so I had Hordak, I had Grizzlor, I had Montana, right? Leech, I had all those guys. And to me, that they were my jam. I love their symbol again with the Hordak face, with the bat wings.
Kind of bat.
I think to me that looks badass.
Filmation Hordak also has a really cool look. I feel like with like the like lips and the kind of like red eyes, right?
The Mega Man cannon hand, and it's just
he's cool.
He's cool. And then when the Four Horsemen did the design for NECA, I was like, man, Hordak's the coolest.
Yeah.
So I love the Horde as much as again, Skeletor. If someone had to say who's your favorite like villain in Motu, it's Skeletor. It's just that's it. As much as like again, Evil Lyn, everyone loves our badass goth girlfriends. We all love them. They are amazing. They keep the world turning. They keep our hearts pumping. We need them. They will keep us alive. But yeah, I have to go with that. I know it was a very long-winded answer.
Yeah. So definitively, you've got two anti-Snake Men guys right here.
Yeah, we're
the one thing we can agree on is King Hiss, take a hike.
Yeah, more like King Piss. Okay, anyways, that's okay. And number 3, favorite 80s cartoon. This is a very loaded question too.
It's really hard.
Alex.
Droids, right? No.
Droids got a banger of a theme song.
I mean, this is really hard. I mean, I don't know. I like Real Ghostbusters.
Yep.
I think that because for Ninja Turtles, just season 1 for me.
Same here. I'm the same way.
The first 5 episodes, like
I don't know how Trevor does his job because I could never go into like season 6 and just be studying it.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think I even really watched it as a kid. Like, I remember mostly that first season.
Yeah,
and then a little bit of the second season. But yeah. So that's hard. But I think Real Ghostbusters has to be it for me. G1 Transformers I was also really into, but yeah, Real Ghostbusters.
Man, okay, this is gonna be weird. Like, I also think mine's gonna end up being Real Ghostbusters. It had the biggest impact. I think on me just as a kid and just where my allegiances lie. It's not even just like because the show is so beautifully done, like even throughout the series. I know it gets a little rough, like most cartoons back in the day. Let's get to the later seasons. Once they changed Janine to me, I was like,
oh yeah, once the network meddling really sets in, although
you feel it.
Some of like the best animated episodes, like the Flip Side, like that was all like later stuff. Yeah.
Right, but you're right. Like just like Flip Side, like there are some gems hidden within that mess in those later seasons.
Yeah.
But those first 2 seasons are so solid and well written and beautifully done.
Yeah.
One of the best openings. I still think, gosh, I don't know if it's Thundercats or Cops fighting crime in the future time.
Oh yeah. Those opening sequences
are
and Ninja Turtles. So Cops and Ninja Turtles. Cops was that Peter Chung doing the intro as well, because I know he did some of the character designs. But yeah, so he did that intro. Peter Chung did that and the Ninja Turtles intro.
Right.
Just chef's kiss. And then Thundercats I feel like is that classic Japanese animation studio 80s cartoon intro. There's like a lot of those tropes, like running through like a bunch of the characters, like kind of whooshing by the screen, like that's a telltale. And then the Real Ghostbusters intro, which is just perfection. That I believe is directed by Kevin Altieri, who would go on to be a big director on Batman the Animated Series, and that's like a beautiful intro.
But that shows too. Like even when you take a look at the just the opening part where they're chilling in the fire hall. And then once the thing goes and everyone gets up and does their thing, and it's that shot of the Ecto-1 leaving the fire hall, and the lights do the.
You see the hood ornament, nice and big, like shiny, like
perfect. It's so good,
and it's perfect. It's perfect storytelling. It's like it sets up everything you need to know about the Ghostbusters, and like and sets your expectation of like what you're gonna see in the. It's like they're hanging out at the firehouse. A ghost situation occurs. They go into action, and it's really scary. But then they're like, they got it covered, and
they got it covered. Yeah, because they're with friends, right?
Yeah.
It's cool. It's that one's up there. This is going, oh, man. Okay, so this is going to be totally out of left field. 80s cartoons that I also really enjoy. I really enjoyed the Elf cartoon, and I know that was like only one season,
Oh.
but that one also has a real earworm of a opening theme song as well.
Really, the Alf
Yeah,
cartoon?
have you never heard it?
No, I don't think
Nope.
so.
Yeah, check that one out. And I'm just trying to think of like other 80s cartoons that just really, really, because there is so many, and now it's like when you put on the spot, you can't think of any. Tiny Toon Adventures is another one.
Is that 80s?
Or is that like early 90s? Does that,
Yeah,
maybe it
I
doesn't
think that
count.
might be early 90s.
Okay, the Tiny Toons doesn't count. I guess this, yeah, that Spielberg era of Warner Brothers is quite amazing. Yeah, Johnny Disco, right? Dungeons and Dragons. We do have a super chat here from Video Power Gaming, $4.99. Gonna get that new Ecto 1 and Ecto 2, Alex?
Oh man, yeah, I would love to do that because I loved the design of the Ecto 1, like kind of the way the back like kind of flares out, like the sort of the like animated, and I love the like, I like anytime there's like sort of that kind of like anime like attention to like the mechanics of it, like just the way like the doors are drawn sometimes. It's just so amazing. And yeah, the Ecto 2, like getting that to like making that so it could like fold up and go into the back of the Ecto 1 would be interesting. But yeah, that's a really fun vehicle too.
Okay, so, and even to go even further back in the 80s. So this is around the same time as like when Masters of the Universe was out, like Motu was out on TV. The one show I loved when I was a little kid. There was two that I remember distinctively in kindergarten. Actually, there's three in kindergarten that were like, I had to wake up. I had to watch these. There was no way around it. These were my shows. Inspector Gadget.
Oh.
Which is, again,
I watched the heck out of Inspector Gadget for sure.
Banger of a theme song.
There. Yeah.
Another banger of a theme song and great show, Muppet Babies.
Oh yeah, of course. Yeah.
Muppet Babies.
And Michael T here, DuckTales.
Oh yeah, of course.
Yeah.
Yes, I love DuckTales. And then the last right. And the other one I had to like watch every time in kindergarten as well. This one was on weekdays, so I had to get up early before going to school every other day. Was Astro Boy.
Oh, you guys had Astro Boy. I kind of remember like Speed Racer, maybe seeing that like every now and then.
Yeah, I knew a lot of people that were like, a lot of my American friends that were like Battle of the Planets. That's the one.
Oh,
right.
Yeah,
like and I never watched that as a kid. I didn't watch that way later.
I kind of discovered it, and it was like, oh, this is cool. This is like Power Rangers, but cool.
Yeah, right. So it is cool. And then so it's like so there's a lot that I missed as a kid. So I didn't see like Voltron. I didn't see there's a lot. But man, Astro Boy, there's the theme song, and I got all of those on DVD, like that particular series from the 80s.
Was this like the 60s Astro Boy?
No,
cartoon?
This is the new one. So this is probably the first reboot. So this was like the early 80s one. And there's always like there was a robot. It was a two-parter. These are the two episodes I'll rewatch all the time. And it is a robot. He had these big horns, and he's just like, he looked like a Marvel versus Capcom boss.
Oh, cool.
And he was designed to literally go out and beat the shit out of and kill all the good robots. So like a lot of these good robots, they weren't fighters. These were robots that were like nurses and nannies, and
this sounds like it's getting really dark.
Yeah, and like like, or even just entertainers, but they were just good robots. And this robot would just be like, no, I'm gonna kill all these ones. And then all of a sudden he just bang, he goes, and then all of a sudden Astro Boy's like, you're a good robot. He's like, yeah, but I also got machine guns that come out of my ass, and I could throw you to the goddamn moon. And It's amazing.
You
It is-
messed with the wrong good robot.
Right. Yep. Totally. Like it's so good. And it is like the first time I ever remember seeing a character like flying through the rain and you saw all the raindrops like hit.
Wow.
Granted, I was like very little, but I mean it's those images that just stuck in my head forever. Chris Babinski, where do you live? I have to know, where in Canada do you live? Because
you don't have to put it in the chat.
You don't have to put your address in the chat, but I'm curious if you're in Canada or what. Chris Babinski and Rocket Robin Hood and 60s Spider-Man and Avengers were on before that. Yeah, on CBC. I remember watching Rocket Robin Hood and 60s Spider-Man on Sunday mornings.
Hold up. Rocket Robin Hood?
Oh, dude.
What's
I got
that?
those on DVD too. And the Mighty Hercules. It's Daedalus, Herc. It's Daedalus. Do you not know these?
No. Well, I know the Herculoids.
Nope. Oh,
How is there stuff? How is at this point there's still stuff?
Okay, I do have to go
don't
soon
know.
because I do got to go back to work. But we are doing this. I do not care.
Real quick, super chat from Johnny Cock.
Oh yeah, bring it up.
For that 1/6 scale Psylocke sculpt, that would be awesome.
Oh, Chris Pobinski's grew up in Thunder Bay, right? It's got to be a Canadian thing where we would watch this stuff. But let me see here. Hang on, I got an ad going while this ad is going for real. Okay.
Oh.
Okay. Again, banger of a theme song. I will let you all listen to it on your own.
I've never seen a frame of this.
What? Dude.
He's got a bow and arrow. He's
dude, it's
a futuristic Robin Hood.
He is on Sherwood Asteroid. Okay.
This I kind of feel like I'm being pranked. Like this kind of feels like something you could like whip up quickly to prank someone.
Right?
Let's go. I assume he talks like this.
Yeah,
Robin Hood and his
fighting together. Yeah, dude.
Those merry men. I noticed that Maid Marian didn't get a lot of screen time there. They cut away real quick.
Yeah, well, but look at this. They
got jetpacks.
They got jetpacks. Dude, it's so retro future. And it's 60s retro future. Like it's so freaking cool.
I remember a Robin Hood cartoon, but I want to say it was more like the 90s era. And it was it was more that like King Arthur and the Knights of Justice kind of. It's like, does that ring a bell? Like a Robin Hood cartoon where like.
No.
I remember like the intro to the show is like all of them, the merry men like introducing themselves.
Yeah. Look at that. Sheriff of Nottingham.
Great.
Shooting at them. Yeah.
Welcome to my spaceship.
Yeah, dude, that's Rocket Robin Hood.
Damn.
So good. Video Power Gaming 49 Super Chat. Thank you so much. Do y'all remember Gravedale High, the Rick Moranis?
Not as much as I remember the McDonald's figures. Like I remember there was like that little invisible man kid where it was like a t-shirt and sunglasses and you'd like he was like a part on the front of like a locker and there's like a little thing you'd pull and you would like move. That's what I remember that. If that's from that show even.
Stupid sandwich. Oh, don't call yourself stupid. I think you're a nice sandwich. I mean, back in the 90s, Toy Biz released Canadian only Marvel figures. So I'm not surprised that they got exclusive cartoons as well. I don't know if these are necessarily exclusive cartoons. But hey, that's it. Yeah, right. Jack Knight 73. Wow, I never saw Rocket Robin Hood either. How is this possible? Again, look up Rocket Robin Hood. You can and the Mighty Hercules. These were all done by the same studios.
Oh, it feels like a Mandela effect situation.
And also the 60s Spider-Man. All three of these were Canadian productions, and they were all done by the same studios, and they're all from the 60s. So I know you can
all
watch.
Shared the same backgrounds.
They all share the same backgrounds. Yeah, kind of. But it is like I will always say that the 60s Spider-Man still had some of the best soundtrack to a cartoon with that jazzy beats.
I'll bet. Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So good. I love it. Okay. All right. That's it. We're done. Oh, wait. Oh, fuck.
I just wanted
to do this plug. We got to do this plug. I got to go to work.
Tomorrow on mondoshop.com, we are dropping the Attack Peter soft vinyl Godzilla. This is based on Attack Peter's amazing linoleum cut print art. Mondo put out a statue a while ago. That was like really awesome, cool Godzilla statue. So now we have a soft vinyl figure to go with our soft vinyl Godzilla line. And it's sculpted by Tufan Setzer, like really amazing. Like he captured the style perfectly. I have the previous Creature from the Black Lagoon based on Attack Peter's art, also sculpted by Tufan, and also the Mecha Godzilla that would pair great with this soft vinyl Godzilla. And I saw this at WonderCon. It looks awesome. I really like, he's got kind of like, there's like a more stylized kind of blocky head that he comes with. That was like really awesome. But yeah, so this goes on sale tomorrow. And yeah, Peter's, I just love, that's one of the things I love about working at Mondo is like getting to interpret artist specific styles in soft vinyl form or figure form, and like getting like people like Jesse Hernandez and Peter to do and James Groman to do their takes on Godzilla, like iconic character. Like it reminds me of like kind of like the DC Collectibles Batman black and white statue line. Like,
oh yeah,
it's just like, I love that. I love anytime that an artist gets to, have their interpretation of an iconic character like captured in 3D form. Like I think that's a really cool collection. And so yeah, we're back with Godzilla.
We're back.
Yeah.
No, this is amazing. And again, links to Mondo's. Did I put the links in the description? I hope so. If not, I will edit that. And
yeah,
make sure that
mondoshop.com, and keep paying attention to Mondo if you're a fan of a certain property that might have a designated day coming up next week, because you're going to want to.
Who has a day next week?
You're going to want to be aware of what's coming out next week, very soon. So just keep paying attention to Mondo in the coming days.
Is it Nightcrawler Day?
Don't know. I don't know. I don't know.
Hope not. I hope it's not Nightcrawler Day.
But yeah. So yeah, just keep it locked to Mondo.
Awesome. Okay.
Cool.
That's it. That is everything.
Ryan's got to get back to work.
I got to get back to work. All right, everyone, have a great night. We will see you next week. Johnny Disco, good luck on your final. And yeah, we will see you next week, everyone. Have a great day.